Fasten your seatbelts. You're going on a journey. We're traveling back in time, and you're going to meet a phenomenal person in United States history. He changed not only the United States, but also helped technologically advance the world. Not only did he make a significant impact on society, he revolutionized it. Let's imagine that we are back in the early 1900s. There's an economic boom. Growth is occurring in mass volumes in every way. For the first time in many years, the effects of the recession were beginning to disappear. Americans were able to begin spending money on goods and services that they considered luxury items in the past, such as the dreaded washing machine we use today and the vacuum cleaner. The hard times of just struggling to survive were quickly becoming a memory of the past. People wanted goods that would make their lives easier and convenient. Due to this shift in consumerism, it became a hot topic. The issue of supply and demand stepped forward into a different light and was more intense than ever before. People were able to purchase big-ticket consumer items, and manufacturers had to find a way to increase the amount of goods that they were producing. This economic growth encouraged people to move from rural areas to cities of industries. The primary methods of transportation were becoming inadequate. The days of trolleys, trains, and the good old-fashioned horse and buggy were bogging people down and limiting their mobility. People wanted the freedom to travel and move about their region quickly without waiting for mass transportation. Henry Ford stepped forward with ideas that would change America forever. Henry Ford did not invent the automobile, he was heavily involved in the process. His first ideal was the quadricycle. But it wasn't his earliest invention that changed the world. It was his methodology of automobile mass production that had a major contribution to the automobile industry. He found a way to make the automobile available to more consumers, thus initiating the beginning of a middle class. At the time, automobiles were very expensive and took a long time to produce just even one. Henry Ford created one of the single greatest concepts in production that is still used today. His innovation of the assembly line allowed for increased efficiency and made products more affordable to consumers. This new system cut the price of the Model T from $850 to $290 in 1 year alone. And that year, Ford Motor Company sold 1 million cars. That was a major impact. But Ford did not stop there. His employment practices set the stage for the workforce as we know it today. Ford shortened the work week and paid workers double their normal wages in an attempt to increase productivity and lower training costs. For the first time ever in history, workers were rewarded and valued for their human capital. His concept of interchangeable parts, continuous flow of work, division of labor, and reduced waste was revolutionary. He changed the habits of manufacturers around the world to this day and helped develop character within our country. The way goods were produced and workers were treated changed dramatically. I remember talking to my grandfather, who's 88 years old. We talked just this past summer. He described to me what it was like to be one of the very few people in the town that I am from who owned a first automobile. I can only imagine what that was like. He reminisced about never being able to fathom the amount of cars that we have today as we know it. He described the transition from dirt roads to miles of paved roads. The road became powerful, and the president enacted funding for miles upon miles of pavement. It was the gateway to a life of peace and comfort where hard work was rewarded with freedom to move about the country freely. Without Ford's invention, life in America would not exist as we know it today. The Fast and the Furious would not be so fast on a dirt road. The wheels will be spinning in their place or just remain stuck. Although most people only vision Ford as one of the significant innovators of the automobile, our journey has shown that he was a pioneer that revolutionized transportation in the American economy. He changed the quality of life from that movement in time to what we see it as today. It's amazing. Henry Ford was once a little boy with a dream. He began tinkering with watches and was motivated by mechanics. Who would have ever known that his inventions and ideological concepts would change the world?